Excelsior, fellow marvelers! It's a glorious, immortimus day. Actually, that's a Doom Patrol reference, which is kind of the only DC series that I like, apart from Peacemaker. But Peacemaker is a little too over the top. Doom Patrol is just absolutely mind blowing. If you haven't checked it out, do check it out, but not if you're a minor, because it's got some serious adult themes going on over there. All right, coming back to kid friendly MCU, Loki season 2, the season finale is what we are going to be watching right now. I will be recording my reactions, editing them together, and sharing them with you through this video to see if you agree with me or not. Even if you don't, make sure you share your thoughts in the comments below and tell me what you thought about Glorious Purpose, which is a very nice spiral back to the first episode of the first season, which was also titled Glorious Purpose. Yeah. Suffice to say that at that time, Advitya was not existent, but this series is all about uh, existential crisis. It's about Loki looking for his glorious purpose, as the title says, and I think that this is going to be a good emotional ride. It's a 56-minute long episode, but Loki's credits run 4 minutes, so about 52 minutes of runtime. And the tagline says, Loki learns the true nature of glorious purpose as he rectifies the past in this gripping finale. I will also read you the season 1, episode 1 tagline, which was, after stealing the Tesseract in Avengers Endgame, Loki lands before the Time Variance Authority. And that was the first time that he met Mobius M. Mobius and all the characters that have come to become his friends. And so, let's move on into the previously on. And here we go. We are about 7 minutes into the episode, and Loki is just going all out to hasten the process of saving the TVA and more accurately, the meltdown of the temporal loom, which weaves together timelines. Now, there is a bit of a jargon here which says widen the temporal input and invert the temporal decay. Now, it ain't easy being greasy in a world full of cleanliness and all other madness. We go on. Peace. That's a quote from one of my favorite songs, End Together Now, by Limp Bizkit and Method Man. But just reminded me of that, so I thought I'll share because I love rap and I love making raps. And it appears that Advitya is looking is is looking to express herself as loudly as she can. Yeah. So I guess I'll see whether she wants to sleep or whether she wants to just do something else. All right. But apart from that, Loki, the season finale, is progressing at a frenetic pace. He's trying to move through the time loops faster, which is a very delicate thing to do. But it doesn't seem all that delicate in this instance because he has learned to control his time slipping and he can come back to any point of time he wants. And that is why he's trying his best to avert the meltdown of all reality. And just like that, there are a few hits and misses, there are a few setbacks, but like all good heroes, Loki realizes that he must be good in order to do good. And so we see the turnaround of the character from being a god of mischief with evil intent, right from the first Avengers when he wanted to rule the earth with the Chitauri's help, to right now when he wants to save all of existence but at the same time make amends with his friends. Amends with his friends, that rhymed, which is what I was saying. I love rapping and I think in rhyme, and sometimes I record what I think many of the time. Oh, that didn't really go well, but outtakes and bloopers are part of life. And yes, now I know that Advitya is looking for her sleep, so maybe I'll put her to sleep and then resume watching Loki season finale. Do make sure you watch till the end and smash that sub button for awesomax fun. There's lots more of my review and reaction coming up right after this. You know what? I'm so glad that my daughter loves the camera almost, if not more than I do. And I'm sure that she's going to be a superstar, not just on superstar for eternity. Oh. So, after going back in time centuries to learn all about engineering and physics and maths and everything from Ouroboros, the splendidly played character by Ke Hui Kwan, and of course by encouraging Victor Timely, one of the variants of He Who Remains, to complete the mission of stabilizing the temporal loom, Loki has succeeded. And Victor Timely, while coming back up into the control cabin, says, "Did it work, Wizard?" Now, Wizard reminded me of something I was reading just the other day about Steve Jobs, the co founder of Apple, of course, along with Steve Wozniak, the Woz, as Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory calls him. And Bill Gates of Microsoft referred to him as a wizard because he was able to cast a reality distortion field, an RDF with his charisma and his, you know, sort of confident charm. Uh, Maybe we won't go so far as to call it charm, but with a confidence, right? And Bill Gates said that he was like a wizard, but his spells didn't work on me because I am a minor wizard as well. So the use of the word wizard for Loki, which is kind of true, uh, going by the Captain America and the Winter Soldier thing of wizards, aliens, and androids, right? The big three. So wizards, aliens, androids. I think wizards is what Loki falls into, and it's going good, it's going well, but I'm waiting for the flip in the story, the twist in the tale, and I think it's going to be coming up soon. So let's see how this season finale surprises us. And Loki's back to the season finale of season 1, in which Sylvie is about to kill He Who Remains. Now, that's obviously just one of the variants of Kang the Conqueror. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so first of all, big appreciation shout out to Jonathan Majors. I have read up about his life, and it has been a very difficult life. But look where he is right now, and I think he was at the Oscars ceremony as well, which is kind of the epitome. No matter how much people dance about it or people criticize it, but it is the epitome of acting, right? So kudos, Mr. Majors, very well done. In fact, you're way younger than me, and yet, I look up to you. So, great job, not just in acting, but in living, right? Same goes for Eman Esfandi. He's got a huge career ahead of him. If you don't know what I'm talking about, he is the character um, Ezra Bridger in Ahsoka in Star Wars. But keeping kudos to actors aside, he who remains in this loop that Loki is stuck in, or not stuck in, but actually rewinding again and again. So he uses the word nada, and nada, of course, I didn't know that word until I heard. I think it was "Lose Yourself" by Eminem. You know, his whole series backstreet ropes, it don't matter, he's dope, he knows that, but he's broke, he's so stagnant, he knows when he's moved back to his mobile home, that's when he's back to the lab again. Yo, this old rap, hope I don't pass him. Okay, so somewhere in Lose Yourself, I think nada is there, which introduced me to the word that means zero. And Victor Timely, the variant of He Who Remains, who explains, who's trying to explain why the temporal loom fix is failing, says that it's trying to divide by zero. So that's how the mind works, it builds spirals back into things that you've seen, heard, learned, felt, and makes connections, and those connections are the ones that pull us into fantasy, into creativity, into artistic expression. And like Samuel Taylor Coleridge and William Wordsworth discussed, suspension of disbelief. So, this is the willing suspension of disbelief in which I am agreeing to be drawn into the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the Star Wars Extended Universe, to let my mind experience fantasy, experience how things of course are not real, but what would it feel like if they were? And this is the kind of artistic expression that I long to be a part of. So any casting directors out there who are not stuck up with I mean, I'm willing to go through the process of becoming a part of the guild or the association or whatever. I think it's Cinta in India and the SAG, which has been in an ongoing war with the studios with a strike and all. But I think that just got over yesterday or day before, something like that. I read the subject line of a New York Times email that I got, in which it was like, I think it has been resolved or something. Uh, anyway, coming back to Loki, Tom Hiddleston is doing a good job as always as Loki. Also in his other, I've only seen the Night Manager of his, but yeah, I think terrific performances and spot on storytelling up till now. So let's see how this spiral works out, and I'm curious to see myself how this escalating avalanche of uncontrollable time loops or timelines or branchings, time branches, timeline branches, branched timelines, whatever you want to call it. I'm curious to see how it all weaves together in the end, whether it destroys the temporal loom or whether it brings up some sort of a setup for season 3, uh, and that's Alexa restarting because of a quick power cut and reset. But maybe a power cut and reset is what is required at the TVA and in the MCU, because this series, of course, is fantastic. Secret Invasion, not so much, but I think it was more of a setup. It was more of a introduction into how the Skrulls have, played their way into the highest hierarchies, and how we can never trust any character because they might be somebody else underneath Skrull. Okay, let's see how the rest of this episode goes. All right, a bit of a heavy literature drop, and Advitya is awake and looking at me as I record. So, he who remains is explaining to Loki that this is why reincarnation is the best way for villains. That reincarnation is the best way for villains to continue doing their evil, continue on their evil ways. And Loki gives a very nice quote by T.S. Eliot, which is, and I will tell it to you in the full: we die with the dying. See, they depart, and we go with them. We are born with the dead. See, they return and bring us with them. Now, this is part of the fourth quartet of T.S. Eliot's Four Quartets, which is a very famous poem, or a group of poems, if you want to call it that. And He Who Remains is just like, uh-huh. All right, so I'm assuming that he is not all knowing because he would know about English literature and possibly Hindu mythology and everything, because reincarnation is a huge part of Hinduism and Buddhism as well, of course, because our lives, our actions in our lives dictate how we are reincarnated. And look at this incarnation trying to twist and turn her way into some sort of how shall I say, funny pose for her or some sort of fun for her, because she just took a power nap and is ready to go once again. Right? Where do you want to go, little child? Oh, She's just about to learn to speak, and she's learned how to make sounds at least. And I'm wondering when she starts expressing what she wants, whether she will want to watch TV shows and review them with me or not. But nevertheless, whatever the future may bring, the past is history, and let's stay in the present and continue watching Loki. This is turning out to be a way more philosophical and digressive review than I thought. But such are my reactions. Do check out my other videos if you want less digression and more Marvel. Shall we proceed? All right, I'll take that as a yes. All right. So, as you can see, first of all, Advitya can now stand with support. And secondly, Loki is now going to make the hard choices. I think he's going to say goodbye to his newly acquired friends over the course of this series and perhaps kill Sylvie. I don't know. I haven't seen the rest of the episode yet, so I don't know. But I think this is setting up for a hunt for the variants of He Who Remains, Kang the Conqueror, like he was shown in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantum Mania, which was kind of, I won't say boring, but pointless. But in any case, let's see what happens in the rest of this episode. Oh, as Advitya feels some strange uh, workings in her digestive system and lets them out. All right, because this brings me to something that I have mentioned in my earlier videos also. Babies have an SPF, like sunscreens have a sun protection factor. Babies have an shit piss fart, thing going for them. So if those three things are fine at this end and what is going in at this end is fine, then it's cool. Which reminds me of another scene from the Big Bang Theory in which Rajesh Kutrapali, an Indian, the Indian in their group, he says to Stuart, who is the comic book store owner, which reminds me of Simpsons, the comic book store guy, the comic book guy, that I'll put things in her top half, referring to Howard and Bernadette's baby, and you take care of what comes out the lower half. I'll put food in her top, and you take care of what comes out the bottom. So babies, of course, need a lot of love and care, and I think that is a good lesson to learn from Loki. That you've got to take care of what you have, otherwise you might be stuck in time loops trying to fix mistakes in the past instead of focusing on the present and hoping for the best future, which is 6 hourism. All right, this is going to be a long video, but thank you so much for sticking through it, whether you're watching it as I uploaded, after I uploaded in these few days, or later in the past, or if you are watching this years later trying to understand what Popo was like. Hello, Popo. All right, my super Gugu is ready to poop. In fact, she has already pooped, I guess. But let her finish. And till then, we will continue watching Loki season finale. And there we go. He is back to his first interaction with Mobius M. Mobius. They are sitting in the Time Theater of the TVA, and I guess he's going to start saying his goodbyes. What a callback. Scar tissue that I wish you saw. Sarcastic Mr. Know-It-All. Close your eyes and I'll kiss you, cause with the birds I'll share. With the birds I'll share this lonely view. With the birds I'll share this lonely view. Push me up against the wall, young Kentucky girl in a push-up bra. Falling all over myself to lick your heart and taste your head, cause with the birds I'll share this lonely view. With the birds I'll share this lonely view. She has learned how to identify music and to beat time with her clapping. But scar tissue is what Mobius says about healing over the scars of the past. And she's learning how to sing as well. All right, let's continue with the episode after this another digression into Red Hot Chili Peppers' Scar Tissue. It's nice to see that Loki realizes the kind of god he needs to be for his friends, and so She didn't get enough of her sleep. But Loki has had enough of the TVA and He Who Remains, and so he has taken on his original prime form with the horns, the Asgardian form, shall we say. Or I think he was a child of the Frost Giants or something. I don't know. Those early days of the MCU are so far behind me that I will have to watch my own review videos to remember what I thought about that. You too can do the same. I will try and link the playlist up here in that eye. So check out my MCU playlist and let's see this episode through to its end and to through to the end of Loki season 2. All right, all right, all right. So there we go. Loki brings together the multiverse in a sort of a tree, which reminds me of Yggdrasil, which is a huge tree in Norse mythology, from where, of course, Asgard and Thor and Loki and Odin and all these characters stem into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I think that that was the imagery that the creators were going for. If not, well, that's my take on it. Please feel free to share what you think about it in the comments. After full stop, the TVA is where we resume, and the poster from which the scene starts has that green Yggdrasil tree, which is sort of going to be the continuing motif, I guess, for the rest of Loki's character development. Let's see. All right, all right, all right, as Matthew McConaughey says. But at the end of the episode proper, Loki is at the middle of the timeline, and let's see when we see the color green, which is his motif, pop up again in the MCU. I'm going to see if there are any mid credits or end credit scenes. Yes, and then we will get on with our wait for the next installment in MCU Phase 5. Oh no, I'm sorry. Okay, so as expected, no mid credits or end credit scene. Thank you so much for watching along. Do tell me what you thought, not just of my reviews and reactions, but also of what Loki season 2 meant to you. Thank you so much for watching. Smash that sub button for awesomax fun. Like, share, subscribe. Do the YouTube thing.